Hello everyone. Very good morning. Welcome back and let's start. So before I start, there is a small request from my end. So the DURGASOFT team is trying to reach you out, but nobody is picking up the calls. So my request is that please pick up the calls. Okay? At least if you are interested or not interested, if you let them know about that, that will be handy for us. How many people are joining or what is the feedback? At least we can know about the feedback. So that's our request, guys. So this is the last and final demo. Okay, so whoever are interested to join, please join into the, at least contact with DurgaSoft and enroll yourself. That's the condition here. Okay, and you know about the fee. So the fee will be 5,000 rupees. So it's an investment for your entire Kubernetes, Docker and Kubernetes career. Okay, so you won't regret about paying 5,000 rupees. Definitely it will be a worthwhile situation for you. Okay, so I request each and every candidate, whoever are attending to this session, if you are interested to join the session, I mean, towards joining into the classes, please attend to the Durgasoft calls. That won't be coming you daily, so you will get the calls only whenever there is any batch is scheduled. Apart from that, calls or messages or mails. Okay, so if you are interested, please join. Please attend the calls and say that so these are the things that we are going to check. So yeah, whoever are interested, they can enroll yourself by end of the by today EOD. So why? Because from tomorrow onwards the link is about to change. So when the link changes, then it is very hard for you. So if you are interested also, so this link won't be there. This link will be expired for when the class is completed today. So from tomorrow onwards, the link won't be available for you. So I request you guys to uh, attend or also attend the coach and at least if you can provide us a relatable feedback saying that we are okay with the sessions we are about to join or else we are not okay with the sessions we are not going to join. At least if you say that, then we will have a count. Okay, so now let's get started. So in the last session we discussed about the uh, normal computing, okay, traditional IT servers and the virtual machines. So today we are going to discuss about the containerization platform. What is meant by a container and how we are going to work with the containers. Okay. So before we go into the containers, okay, before we go into the containers, what exactly are the containers? To know about that, first let us do one thing. What I will do here is I will create an EC2 instance in AWS. You can create the same EC2 instance or sorry, same server in the virtual machines also if you are having knowledge towards the virtual machines, you can create the virtual machines also. But so I want to create an EC2 instance in AWS. So how I can create the EC2 instance in AWS? So for that, what are the prerequisites? First one is you need to have an AWS account, which is a free tier account. So you can purchase a free tier account. Those who doesn't have the free tier account, have please purchase a free tier account. Why? Because from if you are interested in joining to the sessions, then definitely you need to have an AWS account. Why? Because our entire sessions will be working over the AWS only. So purchase an AWS account. Purchase in the sense only 2 rupees will be you have to pay 2 rupees, and after 48 hours that 2 rupees will be returned back to you. So later on, how much practice you are going to do? So that much amount you have to pay for AWS, not for us. Okay. So depending on your practice, you have to pay. And there are some free tier eligible resources are there which are free of cost. So you don't need to pay amount for them. But a few resources are there which you have to pay. So I will tell you when we are discussing about the AWS, especially in the Kubernetes, which resources will be costly for you, which resources will be free for you. So you need to have an AWS account, and in the AWS account, there will be a VPC. You have to create a VPC. If not, by default, you will have the VPC. A default VPC will be there. In the default VPC, what you can do for us, you can launch an EC2 instance. That's it. That is not a very big deal here. So let me show you one thing. So how you have to create the AWS account. How you have to create the EC2. AWS account is, it's generally you can create it. Okay. So let me go to aws.amazon.com, sign into the console. So when you log in, when you provide the username, or once the account is created, when you provide the username, this is how the console outlook will be looking like. Okay, so this is the console homepage. Now I want to go to, first of all, VPC. So virtual private cloud, it's a separate network. For this, you have to learn so much things. But as of now, I am going to create a VPC. I mean, already VPCs are there for me. So here you can see there are two VPCs. These are the custom made VPCs, which means I have created these VPCs. But to remove your problems, okay, to remove your problems, those who doesn't know what is meant by a VPC, what is meant by an or else how to create the VPC and all the things, AWS has provided its own VPC, like a default VPC in each and every region. Right now in AWS, there are 32 regions are available. So among the 32 regions, I think 33rd region is also about to open. But as of now, what is going to happen in all the 32 regions, you will have a default VPC. So you don't need to create it. So once you have the AWS account, simply go to the North Virginia region or else Ohio region, any region. So let me go to Ohio. Not Ohio. In Ohio, I think there is no default VPCs available. Yeah. Look at that. So this is the default VPC which is available. So you don't need to create it. By default, you will have this VPC. Okay. So in this VPC, I want to create an EC2 instance. How I can create the EC2 instance? Simply go to EC2. Okay, simply go to EC2 instances. Right now, we don't have any instance. So first things first, what is my requirement here is, so if you are having a server or else if you are having a computer, let us suppose if you are having a computer, if you want to log in into that computer, what is the requirement? What we need to have a computer and you want to log in into the computer. How you can log in into the computer? Do you understand the question?
User ID.
Open up.
Yes. Create
Yeah.
an account.
So you need to have an username and password, right? So now in the same manner for server also, whatever the EC2 instance that we are creating, for that EC2 instance also, we need to have an username and password. But try to understand a situation over here. EC2 instance we are deploying in America region, okay, US East one. Of course, if you want, you can create in the AP South one also. South one in the sense Mumbai region. Anywhere you can create. So the point is, now I am deploying a Docker server. Docker server. This is my Docker server. Now inside this Docker server, how I can access this? So this Docker server is connected to the internet. This Docker server is connected to the internet. Okay. Now we are the client who are located in India. Okay. So or else in India in any another location like Bangalore or else Hyderabad or Mumbai. So wherever you are from, you are in India. So now from this client mission, which means it from your laptop, you want to access the server. So if I need to have the username and password, we can have that. But the problem is, so over the internet, I need to share the credentials. Okay, over the internet, I need to share the credentials. Is it privacy? Is privacy will be there, or else is the security will be there if I share the credentials over the internet and access the Docker server? Is it secure?
No.
No.
No. So we cannot provide that. So for that reason, what we are going to do here is we are going to generate a key pair. Key pair. Okay. So key pair, the name itself says key pair. Pair means two keys will be generated. One is called as public key and the other one is called as private key. Okay. Public key and private key. So the public key will be with the Docker server. Okay. In the Docker server, you will have the public key. the private key will be with the client. The private key will be with the client. So now let me take an analogy. So for example, you are residing in a room. Okay, you are residing in a home. Now you want to go to a function, or else you want to go to a movie. Okay, you are only the person who is residing in the room or home. Now what you will do, if you want to go to a movie, you will come out of the room and lock the room. You will lock the room. So once you have locked the room, two things will be there. Lock will be attached to the room and key will be with you. So that lock will, the lock, whatever the lock that you have made, that lock can be accessed by anyone. Okay, that's a public access. But whatever the key that you are carrying, that cannot be accessed by anyone. That can only be accessed by you. Until unless the theft is happened, only you can access the key. Okay, so that is a private property. So private will be with the client, private will be with you, and the public key will be with the server. The lock will be with the home. In the same manner, here you will have the private key and public key. So whatever the public key that we are having, so that public key will be with the server, and whatever the private key that is equivalent to that public key. So you are having two locks. For example, if you are having two locks and two keys will be there, you cannot utilize one key with the another lock. If you utilize like that, the lock won't be opened. So the appropriate private key should be used for the public key. In the same manner, here also, the private key should be equivalent to public key. And here the private key is an encrypted data. So to log in into the server. So it is very difficult for the hackers to hijack and to hack the private key and to crack it. Okay, so it will take some time. So this is not a very good so whoever are doing the hacking. So this is not a proper way of hacking. Okay. So the point what you need to understand here, we will be generating a key pair also. So to generate the key pair, what you have to do here, simply go to key pairs, create a key pair, and this is my docker underscore d in the sense dummy key pair I am going to create, and I want in the PEM format. Sir, we can take PPK also, but PPK I won't recommend. I will be going with the PEM only. Create the key pair. Now the key pair has been created. Now let us create the EC2 instance. Instances, launch instance. Okay. So here you have to provide the name of the instance. The name of the instance is docker underscore server. I will be going with the Ubuntu operating system. You can go with Amazon Linux also. So there the installation is a little bit difficult when you compare with the Ubuntu. So Ubuntu server. Next one is T2 micro, which is a free tier eligible. So this particular instance is free tier accessible. So how many hours you utilize, it will be free only. Okay, but you need to understand one thing. So if I say free tier eligible, not all the T2 micro servers are free tier eligible. So what is the condition? Condition here is, for example, you have launched. So right now the time is 7:20. Let us suppose in 7:20. I launched an EC2 instance, 7:20 a.m. I launched a single EC2 T2 micro, T2 micro or T3 micro is also free tier eligible. Micro instance. So from 7:20 onwards, my billing will be done. So 7:20, how many hours he has access to the T2 micro. So continuously 24 hours, I am using the T2 micro instance. For example, let us suppose in 7:20 to 9:20, 2 hours of time, I am running this T2 micro instance. So they will understand there is 2 hours of T2 micro instance utilization is there. Okay, but now what is going to happen at the same 7:20? If I deploy the if I deploy another EC2 instance, then what is going to happen? EC2 T2 micro, the same instance I am running for 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours. Now, how AWS will calculate here is, So for one micro instance, there are 2 hours. For second micro instance, there are 2 hours. So totally 4 hours of T2 micro utilization is there. Okay. So it is not an individual server utilization. It's an, or what I can say, combination of server utilization. How many servers that you are running per hour. So if you are running some 10 servers from 720 to 820, it is not going to calculate it as a single hours. It is going to calculate as a 10 T2 micro hours. Okay. So which means that 10 hours of T2 micro instance is completed. If you are using the T2 micro instances for single hour also, but it's the instance per hour. So how many hours the instance is running. So single instance is running for single hour, then that is a 1 hour. If 2 instances are running for 1 hour, then that is 2 hours. So like that, if you are running 2 instances continuously, so how many hours that AWS is going to provide you free tire? So AWS will provide the free instances for 750 hours per month. 750 hours per month. So if you see here, if I run a single instance, so 24 by 7 for 30 days. Try to understand. So I am running an T2 micro instance for 24 by 7, 24 hours for 30 days. So 24 into 30, that is equal to 720 hours of T2 micro instances will be completed. If I continuously run the T2 micro instances for 30 days, single server, if I run it, then 720 hours will be charged. Okay, will be charged in the sense it's a free of cost. Why? Because they have given 750 hours per month. In the same manner, if I am using 2 servers, 2 T2 micro servers, you think both, you think it is free tier eligible, so you have deployed the 2 micro servers or else 2 T2 instances. Now what is going to happen? The T2 instances won't be running. Okay, the T2 instances continuously running 24 by 7 for 30 days, but you will be charged for 15 days. Why you are going to charge for 15 days? So the T2 micro instances are running. So you are having only 750 hours of free tier eligibility. So one server is running 720 hours. The another server is also running the 720 hours. So now for that 720 hours, you have to charge, you have to pay. So that's the main condition with the free tier eligibility. Whenever you are working with the free tier eligibility, be very careful. What is the condition in that? You need to understand it. So the billing process you need to understand. So this is one thing that you have to catch. Okay. So you cannot run the multiple instances continuously. So you have to run depending on your practice only. So you are doing the practice today at somewhere like 7:20, like 9 o'clock after the completion of the session. Then how many hours you are running the T2 micro instance? If you are running some 5 hours single instance, then it won't be charged. So only 5 hours will be consumed. Among 750 hours, 5 hours. So still you will have 745 hours to complete. So be very cautious whenever you are working with the instances. Do you understand how the billing happens here? Any questions?
In the second month, the new 750 hours will be credited.
Yeah.
How is it?
It will be great.
Okay.
And
Like-
sir, one more thing. If you utilize 2 servers for 350 hours, 350 hours, then also it won't be charged, right?
No,
It
that
almost
is what I said. If you utilize 2 servers for 350 hours, then that will be 700 hours only. Okay. So still you have 50 hours left.
Okay, thank
Right, guys. Coming back to the point here. So I'm going to take T2 micro and the key pair will be, where is it? Docker. And where I want to install that, but I'm having a default VPC. So I will select the default VPC. Subnet, you can select any subnet and the public IP should be enabled. So why public IP should be there? See, you are accessing the server. How you are accessing the server? Over the internet, you are accessing the server. See, there are 2 types of IPs. One is called as public IP. The other one is called as a private IP. What is meant by public IP? The name itself saying public, which can be used over the internet. Private means which can be used within the organization. Okay, simply private IP is like a nickname. Okay, private IPs are like a nickname. Okay, so when See, it's simple, guys. One thing. For example, when you are born, your father and mother will start calling you with some nickname. Okay, it's a free of cost. They are not going to do any naming ceremony, and they are not going to call you with a public name. So simply what they are going to do, they will put a small name like Honey or else what I can say Honey or else Chinu. So there will be some XYZ names will be there. Okay. So those are the private names. Why they are called as private names? Only within the home they are going to call you like that. But when you go to the outside in the sense if you once step out from your home, everyone will call you with the name that has been given to you. So public name will be there. So in your 10th class marks memo, or else in your intermediate marks memo, or else in your graduation marks memo, or else when you go to the office also, so everyone will call you with that particular public name itself, whatever you are called as. So for that public name, what parents are going to do? They are going to spend some money and they are going to do certain naming ceremony and they are going to name you with that public name. So in the same manner, here also server will have two kinds of IP address. One is the public IP and the other one is the private IP. Now, what is meant by a public IP? Public IP is the IP which has been exposed to the internet. So if anyone wants to access the server, they have to access over the internet. If they want to access, they have to access with the public IP. But within the organization, in the sense, for example, if I am having 10 servers inside a VPC, 10 servers inside a VPC, they can communicate with the private IP only. They don't need any public IP. If you are having a private IP, they will communicate with each other. So that's why I have enabled the public IP here. Why? Because I want to access the server over the internet. So enable the public IP. And security group. What is meant by a security group? See, you want to fly from India to America, or else India to London, or else India to Australia. So now what you will do? First, you will go to the airport. When you go to the airport, directly they will allow you to board the flight, or else anything is going to happen. What is going to happen? If you are entering into the airport, what happens at the airport?
Security check.
Security check.
Obviously security check will be there. Okay, what they are going to do checking or what they are going to do is, first of all, whenever we are entering into the airport itself, they will check the passport, they will check the flight ticket, and then they will allow into the airport. So once we entered into the airport, we will give the check-in baggage, and then we will go to the security check here. So when we go to the security check here, they will do all kinds of checking like monitoring or also scanning, everything will be done. So for example, one instance I forgottedly, so I don't know whether I'm carrying it or not, but unfortunately I had this nail cutter in my what I can say in the baggage in my laptop bag. Okay, so unfortunately a nail cutter was placed. So now what they have done, so after the security check is happened, so they have checked my entire bag and they found out there is a nail cutter. So they throw it into the dustbin. So which means that is not allowed into the flight. Okay, so which means that there are some restrictions will be there. So in the same manner, here also when you come to the server, we are going to provide certain security groups. What is meant by security groups? In this security group, we are going to tell do's and don'ts. So this particular type of data will be allowed into the server. This particular type of data will not be allowed into the server. So that's a security group is all about. If you allow all, so then all types of data will be allowed. All types of protocols will be allowed. So then you are wide open to allow the threats also. Okay, so if you allow each and every type of traffic, then you are wide open to then you are allowing the threats to enter into the server. Okay, so that's not the case here. So in the security groups also, you are having two types of rules. One is the inbound rules and the other one is the outbound rules. What is meant by an inbound rule? Inbound, the name itself saying that incoming traffic or ingress traffic. Inbound is also known as ingress. Outbound is also known as egress. So when I'm talking about the inbound ingress traffic, So which traffic is very sensitive or else very dangerous means incoming traffic is dangerous. Okay, incoming traffic is dangerous. Some people might carry when they are going into a flight. Some people might carry might plan to hijack the plane. So what they are going to do, they are going to carry some flammables and all the things. So that's not the way to allow all the people to enter into the flight. Okay, they have to done proper security check. If they have allowed all the traffic to enter into the plane, then every plane is going to be hijacked. Okay, that is not the condition, right? So there should be a proper security check should be done. So once the security check is happened, then only we are going with the next procedure. So in the same manner, whenever you are creating a server, you need to attach an security group such that that security group should be relevant to that server. Okay. So for example, if I am having a web server, or else for example, if I am having a database server, so for database server, I don't need to allow all the traffic to enter into that particular database. So I have to open only one particular port number. So for example, I am using MySQL. For MySQL, it is 3309. Okay. If I am using MS SQL, Microsoft SQL, so then I have to use 1431433. Or else if I am going for Oracle, it is 1521. If I am wrong, please correct me if I am wrong. And for Postgres, it is like 5432. So these are the default port numbers which you have to open on the server. So if you want to change the port numbers, you have to change the port numbers, and in the security group, you have to define that this particular port number should be allowed. So like that, you have to open the port numbers. The security groups are helpful for you to access the servers on a precise port number. They are going to allow only a particular port number. They are not going to allow each and every port number, or else each and every traffic will be allowed into the servers. So that's the reason we are going to create the security group. So here, if you want, you can create a security group, or else you can go for an existing security group. So whenever a VPC is created in AWS, by default, you will have three things will be created. One is a routing table, and the second one is the security group, and the third one is the network access control list. So if you want to learn about all these things, you can join the AWS sessions. But as of now, just let us go with the flow. So I'm going with the default security group. One second, guys.
Sir, if I want to access the machine with the private IP, how do we go about that?
No, you cannot access it. Over the internet, you cannot access. Definitely, you need to have an jump server, at least.
Acha. So will there be any public or private IP mappings?
They will be mapped internally.
Okay.
What's your question in that? I have a few
For
doubts on that.
example, I am an organization, so I
You
don't
are
want to give
you are
access,
inside the organization.
and I don't want to expose the IP to outside world.
No need of
So,
exposing the IP address for the outside. So how they want to access them? You can use a proxy server in between that.
okay.
That's what I said as a jump server. Someone will call bastion server. I mean to access the server, okay, and someone will call it as an what I can say, to access the application inside the server, you can use a proxy server. If you want to access the server, you need to install jump or bastion server. If you want to access only the application, you can install a proxy server. Do you understand the difference?
Yes, sir. To access application, we need to use
Proxy server.
proxy server. Yeah.
Okay, to access the server, accessing of application is different than accessing of the server. So what is accessing of application? Application will be running on a particular port number. Okay. In the proxy server, I will say that whenever a request comes to you on this particular port number from the public IP, then you have to forward it to this particular server, to the backend server on this port number. So then it will only connect to that particular port number only, and it is going to fetch out the application. But the user will not be able to access the server, will not be able to access the server in the sense will not be able to log in into the server. Now what you have to do here, you can go for a bastion server over here. So in the bastion server, what I will do here is, so inside the another server, wherever whatever the private server that you are having, so I will open a port number. Okay, I'm going to open a port number 22 or else port number some XYZ, and I will tell to the bastion server is saying that if the user wants to log in into this server, so first of all he has to log in into the bastion server, and from the bastion server he has to log into the particular private server. So this is the way how he can access the server. So, understood?
Yes, sir. It is for extra security.
Yeah, the security layer will be added. So this is about your default security group, which I'm going to launch the instance. Right, the instance is deployed. Once the instance is deployed, now what we are going to do here is, I'm going to access the server. So how I can access the server? Simply copy the public IP. So if you are using the private IP, you won't be able to connect to that. But here, what we have to do here is, in the security groups also, you need to understand one thing. So if you go to the inbound rules, the inbound rules are not similar to all the rules. So here you can see. So this is not the inbound rule which I want. I want to create an inbound rule. Okay. So if I want to access, if I try to ping to that server, so I want to ping to that server. Pinging in the sense communicating. Ping in the sense ICMP protocol. Okay. So see here. Let me copy it. Right. So this is our Docker server which is there. So I'm trying to ping to that Docker server. Ping public IP. When I do this, look at there, or else what I will do, -T. You are going to get the request timed out. Okay, you are getting the request timed out. Why? Because ICMP protocol is not allowed in the security group. So simply what I will do here is, type is ICMP v4, all ICMP v4 from where, from anywhere through the internet. So anywhere you can select it and come down. And if you want to give the description, you can give like ICMP v4 allowed and save the rules. Once you have saved the rules, so look at there what is going to happen after certain time. You are getting the response. So why I'm getting the response? Because I am allowing the ICMP protocol. In the same manner, if I want to access the server, okay, so how I can access the server? It's an Ubuntu server. So for Ubuntu server, the user is Ubuntu. To log in into that server, the default username is Ubuntu @ and if you provide the public IP, it won't be logged in. Why? Because to access the public server, you need to have an SSH protocol enabled. So in the inbound, what I will do here is, I will enable the SSH protocol. Add rule SSH protocol from anywhere or else from my organization. If you specify your IP address from my IP, it will take only your IP to access the server. If you are giving anywhere from internet, if whoever are having the public IP address of the server and private key, they can access the server. Right now, I am going to give only like this. So now we are able to access the server. So how we can access the server? To log in into this server, what is my requirement? So I have given the username and the public IP. So now are we able to access the server? No, we are not able to access the server. Why? Because so to unlock that server, right now, whatever the server that we have deployed on EC2 or else whatever the EC2 mission that I have deployed in AWS, it is having the public IP. To unlock that public IP, to log in into that server, we need to have a private key. So I have already created the private key. Where is it? It is downloaded. When you create the key pair, automatically .pem file will be downloaded into your machine. Okay. So either you can use the tool called as putty. So you can use putty, or else directly you can access from the command line also. So open PowerShell. In Windows, you are having a tool called as PowerShell. cd downloads not the documents. cd downloads. So here you are having the private key called as docker underscore d.pem ssh hyphen I docker underscore d.pem. Okay, this is the pem file which I am using to access the server with the user Ubuntu @ what is the server public IP address? Copy the public IP and provide it over here. When you right click, the public IP will be pasted and press enter. There you go. Now I am into the server. Look at that. So Ubuntu IP address, you got it. Okay. So now what I will do, that is the server name. Sudo su hyphen. So right now I am accessing the server. So this is my Linux machine where I am accessing on the PowerShell or within the PowerShell through the PEM file. Or else you can convert that PEM into the PPK format and access over the putty also. I will show you that also. So now what you can do here is, it's an Ubuntu machine. So the repos will be updated with apt package manager, apt update -y. Now I want to install a tool called as NetTools, an utility called as NetTools to check the IP address of the server.
Chaitanya, what is the storage you selected? 8 GB is the default one, right?
EBS volume 8 GB is the default one.
Okay.
Or else you can increase to 20 GB or 30 GB also. So 30 GB is the free tier eligible storage space. Apart from 30 GB, if you go for beyond 30 GB, you have to pay for the storage.
Okay.
So if you take the 40 GB of storage space, you have to pay for 10 GB. The 30 GB
But
is free.
okay, but for our practical, this is fine. 8 GB is enough,
Yeah,
right?
8 GB is more than enough.
Okay.
So now, what I will do, I will install an apt install -y net-tools. Right now, if you see here, if config. So this is the IP address of the server. Whatever the server that we have taken, this is the private IP address of the server, and we are having a loopback address. So now this is the condition. Only how many adapters are there? 2 adapters are there. 2 network adapters are there. Okay. Please keep this in the mind. Now I will install the Docker. How I can install the Docker? You can go with apt install docker -ce-y. You can install like that also, but I don't want to install in that fashion. So there is a command called as, or else there is a website. Okay. get.docker.com. Get.docker.com. So in this website, in this website, you will have all the shell script which is written to install the Docker. So simply what you can do here is, this is also another way to install the Docker, or else you can go with the traditional way also. So curl-sl https get.docker.com and bash. So this is called as a pipe symbol, so which will be available on the top of the enter button. You will have a slash and pipe in the same button. If you press shift plus that slash button, pipe will be created. Okay. So press enter. Now it is installing the Docker on your server. Okay. So let the Docker be installed. It will take some 2 minutes. Now I want to tell you how we can access the server over the putty. So here you are having the what I can say docker underscore d.pem. This is the PEM file. Now PEM file is not compatible with the putty. PEM file is not compatible with the putty. Now what I have to do, I need to convert that PEM file into PPK format. So by whenever we are creating the key pair, we got the PPK. Now why can't we select the PPK from there? So the point is, I want to have that PEM file for different options, different operations. There are multiple things I can do with the PEM file. But if I download the PPK file, I cannot do the same things with the PPK. PPK will only use for this putty application. For the rest of the things, I cannot use that PPK file. So for that reason, I have downloaded the PEM. Now I want to convert that PEM into PPK format. How? There is a tool called as PuttyGen. Select the PuttyGen tool, load, and go to downloads, all files. Select the downloaded file, docker_d.pem, open, and save as a private key. So the file name is docker_d, the same I'm going to give, save. So here you can see we have a docker_d.ppk format file is available. Now in interview, they will ask you, among the PEM and PPK, which file is the public file, which file is the public key, and which file is the private key? Among the PEM and PPK, which file is the public key and which file is the private key? What is your answer? If you are a fresher, go on. PEM is the, go on guys. PEM is
the public key.
the same answer I will get. PPK is the private key. Is it true?
Yes, sir.
No, it's completely false. Both are into your the client machine only, right? Whatever the key that is loaded into the client machine, which type of key will be loaded into the client machine? Public key will be downloaded. What I said in the diagram, public key will be with the server, and with the client you will have the private key. So the key which is downloaded into your machine, that is called as which type of key? Both are the private keys only. PEM file and PPK file, both are the private keys. To make you confused, definitely the interviewer will ask the question like this. Okay, don't say PEM is the public key and PPK is the private key. Both are the private keys only. Okay. Right. So Ubuntu @ give the public IP address of the server. What is the public IP? Let me copy the public IP address of the server. Go to the SSH, authentication, credentials. In the credentials, you have to load the PPK file. Browse, download docker_d, open, and click on open here. Now look at that. You are able to access the server. So this is the way how you can access the server. First of all, whatever the .pem file is there, you have to install, or else you have to convert the .pem to .ppk format. Later, you need to load the credentials into the putty, and you have to provide the ppk file, and then you have to open the server. So now you are able to access the server. So now here, if you see, the Docker installation is done. Docker installation is done. Now, if I give if config, now tell me what is the difference that you find out for previous and right now. Previously, we have given the if config. Now we have given the if config. What is the difference that you find out?
Earlier, there was only Ethernet address. Now there is one more IP address, local IP, I guess.
One more network adapter that is created. What is that?
Loopback, something loopback.
Loopback is there previously also. Guys,
It's a Docker.
yeah, Docker 0
Docker,
is not there.
Okay.
You didn't see this previously? What is there? That's why I deliberately showed you that. See there previously what is there?
Yes, yes. Yeah, Docker is additionally created. Yes.
Docker adapter is added. What is this Docker adapter? What is the Docker networking? How containers will be running? What is meant by container lifecycle? How containers architecture will be there? Docker architecture will be there. What are the different container registries? These are all the concepts that we are going to start from tomorrow. Right now, I'm going to stop it. The last day of your demo, I'm going to stop it over here, the 45 minutes. Okay. So I will From tomorrow onwards, we will start the Docker, okay, and go in detail about the containers. So as of now, that's the case. So, yep. So I hope you understand the session. The third demo is also completed. So as per your view, it's a third demo. As per my view, it's a third class. So the third session is also ended. So tomorrow onwards, whoever has enrolled for the course, they will be given with a new URL. I mean, new, what I can say, Zoom URL. The URLs are going to be changed. Zoom link will be changed. So please try to enroll yourself. If you are interested, enroll yourself. I am not going to force you on that. Okay, that's your wish. So, and the fees is 5,000 rupees. Again, coming back to the fee. So it's just 5,000 rupees, which will be helpful for your Kubernetes Docker and Kubernetes career. Okay, so again, saying you that don't bargain with the team guys. Okay, so I want for 4,000. Whatever the or what are the classes that you are going to get that is worth more than 5,000. If you go outside and ask any person, any candidate, you can search for any candidate who has completed the Kubernetes just now, and you can recheck with them. Did your faculty has completed these things, and check out with them with a practical manner whether they have completed the probes, sidecar containers, ingress, and advanced scheduling. What is node affinity? What is pod affinity? You can just go and ask them. So whether they are going to give the answer and how much fees that they have charged. Okay, so how many days they have completed the Kubernetes, how many hours they have completed the Kubernetes. I don't see there is any another person who is going to give the training over 7 hours or 10 hours in the Kubernetes, but we are going to get 30 hours of Kubernetes session. So what will be there in the 30 hours that I will clearly explain you, but as of now, so that 5,000 is an investment for your highly paid Kubernetes career. Okay, so don't bargain with the soft. So that's the one thing. And the second thing is, if you are really interested, please keep posted. Please join into the sessions. Tomorrow onwards, the link is going to be changed. And please attend the DURGASOFT calls, or else you can go through the GPay or PhonePe number and just call back to the DURGASOFT and say that we have paid the fees. So now let us enroll for this and provide me the Google access, Google Drive access. They will provide you. Okay, these are the things that you have to do right away. Okay, so that's it from my end. Have a nice day, and we'll meet in the next session. So welcome on board. So those who are interested, you can join the session, and the session timings will be 7 to 9. It's a fixed timing. Right now, when we have a meeting, we discussed about this. So 7 to 9 a.m. will be the fixed class timings. Okay. So tomorrow also you will have the session at 7 to 8 only. Tomorrow, most probably, Friday you won't have the session. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday you won't have the session for this week. From next week onwards, you will have each and every day sessions will be there. Okay. So that's it from mine. If you have anything to ask me, you can ask me now. Videos you will get. Videos you will get.
Regarding certification, what kind of certification we go with this course?
Certified Kubernetes Administrator, CKA.
Okay. So it's a kind of objective, or
sorry?
It's a kind of objective test, or descriptive?
Multiple choice. It's a multiple choice with the practical explanation. You have to do the practical and you have to provide the answer over there.
Okay.
Sir, are we going to deal with like CI/CD creation or
CI/CD Jenkins won't be there,
Okay.
but the pipeline will be explained. Okay. So if I have to explain the Jenkins again, I need to go for another 10 sessions. That's a separate topic. Okay. Jenkins CI/CD pipeline. Here we are concentrating on containers and orchestration. If I include the Jenkins, the fees will be increased and the number of days you have to work with the, you have to attend the sessions are also going to be increased. Okay.
Okay, sir. So how many days it will take, sir, normally?
That's a different session, guys. Jenkins CI/CD pipeline is a different session. But are you are not going to tell us the Jenkins pipeline? See, again, telling you about the Jenkins pipeline installation, you will know, and what we are going to do, you will understand. But to explain the entire Jenkins pipeline, it's not in this sessions. Okay. So the entire sessions will take 20 days. Okay. So 2 hours of session will be there. Most probably, my tentative date to complete the sessions by April 7th. That's a tentative date. Okay. So whether it is going to happen or not going to happen, we will see it later. Anything else?
Okay.
And sir, Saturday, Sunday is included or
Included. No holidays.
okay?
Even Saturday, Sunday, if I have to say, some extra time will be taken.
Okay.
See, here you came to learn the things, right? So don't expect the Saturday, Sunday off. Okay. So we are going with an on-rush competition with the outside world. So my thinking is that from by April, if you try to complete the Docker and Kubernetes, there will be openings. Those who are trying to join into the DevOps, what I can say, DevOps role. So definitely you have to answer the Docker and Kubernetes questions. So this will be very handy for you. Okay. So once you have completed before April, so there will be openings from Zoom or else May Zoom. So definitely you can attempt that. If you try to complete the certification also, that will be an added asset for you. So we are not going to do the certifications. You have to do by your self.
For this kind of support for applying the examination is provided from your side
No.
for certificate.
Support in the sense, what kind of support you want?
Means how we can apply for that examination.
Linux CNCF.
Okay.
Linux CNCF is the way to go.
Okay.
Anything else?
So what is the duration of the exam?
Duration of the exam is 180 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Questions?
We only have to apply, or means any support from the DURGASOFT side for applying for the examination?
No.
No support.
Outside there won't be anything.
Okay.
That's you are writing the exam on your own risk, right? Own risk in the sense by applying, you have to apply. So here we are providing the course for you. Okay. Later for the certification, we will provide you the guide in the sense whatever the documents that you want. We will provide all the documents related to each and every concept. From that concept only, you are going to get the questions. Okay. In such case, you have to go through the concept. And one more thing, see, whatever the concepts that we are telling here, we are delivering. If you really practice it good, then it will be like 60% of the marks will be covered. But the remaining 20% based on your practice, based on your interest, it will be done. So if you are really interested towards cracking the certification, at least you have to put some efforts for searching the content, right? So yeah, so that 20% of the marks will be in your hands. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Anything else, guys?
No, sir. Thank you.
Right. So that's it from my end, guys. So tomorrow onwards, your sessions will be the completely the paid ones, and the link will be changed. So be prepared for that. Private Docker network. Yeah. So already DurgaSoft has provided the complete details. You can go through the details. So it's 20 days enough for all the content covered, Saturday and Sunday included. Of course, 20 days are enough. With all the content, whatever you are going to learn, 20 days is more than enough for us to cover the topic.
Will we have any project kind of something where we?
Everything you will get to know. Okay. You will have, like, see, again, saying you the things in the first session itself. I said you, if I take a project and trying to explain you the things, then I have to leave certain concepts back behind. Okay, so I don't want to leave the concept behind. I want to cover each and every topic of Kubernetes, each and every topic of Docker. So once that is completed at the end of your sessions, I will try to explain you about multiple types of projects, which you are going to work with Python project, which you are going to work with the Java project. So these are not very high kinds of projects that those are the basic projects which I am going to tell you. But at least you will have a understanding towards that. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay, guys. So we'll meet in the next session. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.